Hey there, G3XE here, and today I'm going to be doing a practice playtest battle report for my miniature skirmish rule set, 7th spell. The rules are free, downloadable. I have the, like 4-page PDF on my phone. This is Philip the Turtle. Hello, Philip. And yeah, let's get to it. Today's battle report takes place in the hilly grasslands of the Goblin Hills, in the world of Zeniath. These are ancient statues from a civilization, but the forest has been overgrown. Tolbar the Deranged and his warband of northern barbarians are heading to get revenge on a single goblin, a goblin shaman known only as Grubsnoot. But Grubsnoot has a ace up his sleeve, so to speak, as he has summoned a war worm, a creature that dwells deep within the earth and can burrow and pop out in the craziest of places. So there's 150 gold battle report. I'll go through the list. So, Tolbar the Deranged is leading the Northern Barbarian Warband. He's a heroic, level 3 character. He has 3 special rules: Charge, Furious, and Lethal. And he's coming in at 51 gold. Then he has 5 Northern Barbarian Marauders. Each of these are elite fighters, level 2. And they all have Furious. It's a very fast and offense-heavy army. Then he has his personal war dog, Buttercup, I'll say. And Buttercup is just a novice, level 1, with speedy special rule. Their whole list, with 18 gold per Marauder and 10 gold for the war dog, comes in at 151. With just a small warband, showing how you can do, really low model count, we have 159 gold force for Grubsnoot and his Warworm. Grubsnoot himself comes in at 60 gold. He's elite, not heroic, so he's level 2. He's a caster, and he's speedy. He's a quick little goblin. Then his Warworm is heroic, level 3. It has flying, but in this case it's going to represent its ability to burrow under the ground and pop up in a different place. Stalwart and undying. So it's quite the beast. This battle scenario is just going to be showing how the game works, and it's just going to be your basic kill scenario. Last team standing wins. One heroic model on either side is a nice way of playing. And so we'll get to it. What you're going to need for 7th spell is, of course, the rules, free PDF. Some dice, and I have a plethora of those. Obviously your lists, maybe some counters to count out bloody tokens, and then some way to measure in inches. We'll roll to see who goes first. The goblins have the red die, or the goblin gets a 5. The barbarians, a 1. Goblins will decide who goes first. While Tolbar and his war dog are on the right side here with this clear alley toward the enemy, and are followed up by their 5 barbarians. Since Grubsnoot is a caster, we're going to roll for his spells. Can't have repeat spells, so he gets 2 unique spells from the list. We'll roll the d6s, 2 because he's level 2, 5 and 4. So 5 is going to be Lightning. Difficulty 5 spell, target within 24 inches takes d6 bloody tokens. If the target is within 3 inches of a piece of scenery, add 2 to that roll. Cool. And then 4 is Speed. Difficulty 4, target self or ally character within 6 inches and add 6 inches to their next move. Now that is going to be really useful, especially with the Warworm, I imagine. So Speed and Lightning for Grubsnoot. They, of course, don't have any filthy magic users over on the barbarian side. So, top of turn 1, we're starting out with Grubsnoot. Alright, first up, I think Grubsnoot is, you can only do 2 unique actions from move, attack, or cast spell. Grubsnoot is probably going to cast a spell, cast speed on the Warworm, because if he can get it off, the Warworm can get pretty far up the board, but not to a point where the barbarians can counterattack him. So it'll put him in a good position. So the Warworm has a base speed of 7. Adding 6 to that will, of course, be 13 inches. So speed has a difficulty of 4. We're rolling 2 dice because Grubsnoot is an elite character. So we need a 4 or higher on any of these dice. Alright, he gets it off. So the Warworm can now move 13 inches. This is 10 inches, and we'll move an extra 3. So Warworm can hide behind this. Now, since he can burrow, he can pop up on the other side of this piece of terrain, no problem. So the Warworm can't do any other actions. He still has 1 more action. He does have Speedy and can move 6 plus 3, so 9 inches. So he'll go ahead and follow the Warworm and maybe get a good position for sniping with some lightning spells. For the Barbarians, top of turn 1, their strategy is basically run up and smash. They could definitely do with killing Grubsnoot first, because his spells are going to be quite annoying. So, let's get to that. Now, Tolbar, the deranged, does have Furious, Lethal, and Charge, so he definitely wants to get up there. His Hound can move 8 inches, because it has the Speedy special rule, so it can move about there. And he himself can move 7, so he'll just follow up close behind. Then they can't do any other unique action, so they're going to have to withstand any lightning bolts or anything. But maybe they'll send this group to flank off the side, hopefully. So these guys are elite, so they can move 6 inches. Alright, they can't do any other actions. So that's the end of their turn 1. Now the Universal Resolution phase, no one has any bloody tokens, and there aren't any effects that say during the Resolution phase, so we just moved on past it. Alright, now back to back to Grubsnoot and his Warworm. Grubsnoot this time should probably cast Lightning on Tolbar. He's definitely within 24 inches. He's within 3 inches of a terrain feature, so he's going to be adding, 3? 2 to that roll. So it's D6 bloody tokens if he gets it off. Difficulty 5. So he needs a 5 on one of these dice. Hey, gets it off. Lightning strikes as Grubsnoot unleashes his shamanic powers against the incoming barbarian. Dealing D6 plus 2 bloody tokens to Tolbar. Oh my god, 6 plus 2, 8 bloody tokens immediately to Tolbar as lightning strikes the forest, we'll say, and a tree falls on his head. That's so many bloody tokens it might be easier to use a die, but I'm just going to do these because I have them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at all those bloody tokens on Mr. Tolbar, the deranged. Then, what should Grubsnoot do? Well, if I were him, I would back up now, and I think that moving out of range might be a nice tactic. So he's going to move out of his 9. We'll just say move right here so we can see them as well. All right, the Warworm should probably burrow underground and pop up like right here, so they can reach everyone. So it tunnels forth and just really, pops up on the other side. And it appears to be within 2 inches of these two barbarians and definitely the Warhound, but not Tolbar. Alright, so then it can do one attack. It's going to pick a target. Why don't we say the Hound, because that's an easy thing to pick off, and that way it doesn't head back here toward Grubsnoot and harass him. So, the Warworm is a heroic monster, so we get 3 dice, and no other of its rules apply to attacking, so rolling like normal. Ooh, that is 2 regular hits and a miss. Alright, then, however, the War Dog only gets to roll 1 die, because it's a novice, level 1, so, ooh, and it doesn't even, so it takes 2 hits. Well, that worked out well for the Warworm, so maybe as it erupts out of the ground, these 2 little beads are fused together, so I don't want to do that. But as it erupts out of the ground, the rocks hit and harass the dog and injure it. And that would be Grubsnoot's turn 2. Then the Marauders, or the Barbarians, their turn. Alright, so they have a decision. Tolbar is very wounded, so he wants to get the bang for his buck. And it's a really long way to Grubsnoot. So I'm thinking, before Tolbar kicks the bucket, why don't we send the dog over to Grubsnoot and Tolbar over to the Warworm, and these guys we send like 3 to the Warworm and 2 to Grubsnoot. So the dog can of course move its 8 inches. Tolbar moves into combat, which of course is great since he has the charge special rule. And we'll do 3 of these guys into close combat with the Warworm. The rest can move their 6. Tolbar will go ahead and do his attack first. Now he has charge, so after he moves and then attacks, hit 4s count as power hits for that attack. As well as he has Furious, so he gets an extra die. And he also has Lethal, meaning that power hits deal 2 bloody damage. So he is quite the savage when it comes to combat, especially from charging. So we normally get 3 die. Now he's going to get 4 for Furious. And 4s are going to count as power hits. Alright, so he gets 2 power hits and 1 standard hit. That is versus the Warworm, however, who does have Stalwart and Undying, but Stalwart just means he gets an extra die to defend, so he gets 4 dice. And let's see, he's got 2 standard blocks and a power block. So 1 power block is knocked out, 1 power block goes through, and then the standard hit is blocked, because the standard hit can't block a power hit. So 1 power block goes through, normally would do 1 bloody damage, but because he has Lethal, Tolbar I mean, the Warworm gets 2 bloody tokens. Now he's kind of cramped in there. I'm just going to keep a counter of the Warworm right down here. I thought I grabbed the wrong bead. Whatever. Okay. So the Warworm gets 2 bloody tokens from that. Then the 3 attacks incoming from the just standard Marauders. They also all have Furious, so they would normally get 2 dice. They're each going to get 3 dice. So we'll roll them all separate. So this guy first, I mean it doesn't really matter, but 2 standard hits, and again the Warworm gets 4 dice to block, or to defend. Ooh, very poor. 3 1s and a power block. So he actually takes an additional bloody token. This is good, since the Warworm does have Undying, meaning that you gotta, you can't even, you gotta hit him hard and fast, otherwise he'll heal up. Then the next one, down the line, only gets 1 power hit, so just need a 5 or 6. That's a 6. So he does block it. And the last guy, oh my god, the last guy is just clobbering him. This guy with the double axes. And he gets 3 power hits. See if the Warworm can do anything about this. He does mitigate it and takes only 1 bloody token from it. So that puts the Warworm at 4 bloody tokens after all of that combat. And that would be the end of the Barbarians' turn 2. Universal Resolution phase. So everyone who has bloody tokens rolls. Alright, he has 1 health, right? He can only take 1 damage, and he has 2 bloody tokens. And you lose 1 health for each one that's rolled for your bloody. So any ones will... Oh, unlucky. That one means that the Buttercup, the Warhound, is slain. Tollbar, this is going to be a scary thing. We got 8 dice here, and Tollbar has 3 health since he's a hero. So let's see. Okay, we had 2 1s, so he just barely clings in there, and he's down to 1 HP. And then the Warworm. The Warworm has 4 bloody and 3 health points. However, because of Undying, you subtract, he heals 1 bloody at the start of this phase. So he actually has 3. And, he does take 1. So the Warworm is at 2 health, Tollbar is at 1 health after turn 2 here during the battle. Now, the beginning of turn 3. Go over to Grubsnoot. Grubsnoot should probably cast lightning on one of these fools, I'm guessing. So, they're definitely within 24. He needs a 5 to cast, gain 2 dice. So, does not cast it. Then we'll probably just run. So I'm going to move him maybe this way. He can move 9, so it's pretty good. The Warworm, now because it has, the special rule flying, but in this case it's representing its burrowing ability, it can disengage without having to take all those disengage tests. So if I wanted to, I could really move it anywhere. And it is kind of getting pounded on a lot here. So I'm going to move it well within 7 inches, which is here, so that he burrows under and pops up to kind of protect, and then is going to attack this man right here. Alright. 2 power hits and 1 standard hit. Now, this guy only gets 2 dice, which means that at least 1 bloody token is going through. And he does block 1 of the power hits, taking 2 bloody tokens. Okay. And since the Warworm is out of that place, I can put those next to him. The Barbarians. What should their plan of action be? This is kind of a traffic jam over here. So how about this guy moves around. I'm going to get in attacking range. This guy... Alright, so after that, most of the Barbarians come around this way, and Tollbar does barely just make it 1 inch away from the Warworm, so he can attack. So they're pretty much focusing fire on the Warworm. We'll do Tollbar first, who has, of course, 4 dice. He did get his charge thing going, so he gets, oh my god, 4 power hits. Each of those is going to do 2 bloody tokens if they go through because of charge. Or, I'm sorry, because of lethal. Alright, the Warworm does get 4 dice to block, though, and only gets 1 power block, meaning that 6 bloody tokens. Tollbar is furious in his rage of being lightning bolted and on the verge of death. So 6 bloody tokens he deals to this Warworm. Impressive. 4, 5, 6. Okay, so the war worm is at 9 bloody. I'm actually going to move these again. War worm is at 9. This is an interesting fight, to say the least. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 other barbarians attacking the war worm. They each get 3 dice, of course, because of Furious. So the first one, 1 power hit is all that gets. And he blocks it easily with his tough warworm hide. The next barbarian, 2 power hits, and he blocks those. The next one, 1 power hit, 1 standard hit. He blocks both of those with a 5 and a 4. And the last one, 2 standard hits, excuse me, and 2 blocks. So no one else besides Tolbar, the deranged, is able to damage the warworm, but that is just fine because the warworm is actually at 9 frickin' bloody. Alright, so that's the end of that round, bringing us to the resolution phase, and what a resolution phase this will turn out to be. So, Undying, so he loses, heals 1 bloody token. And why don't we start with Tolbar? He is 8 bloody and 1 HP left. So any rolls of a 1, and Tolbar is out of here. Oh, yep. All right. I could have seen that coming, but still. So Tolbar, the deranged, was not long for this world, it seems. He burned bright and burned out too soon and is slain. The one barbarian, the one barbarian who has 2, he is right now full health, and of course the warworm is at 2 health. Takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I get 2 ones, the warworm has been slain, which will be alright. We just get 1, so the warworm is still alive. So just barely, the warworm is surviving. Now it is Grubsnoot's turn. Top of this turn, or Grubsnoot's team's turn, I should say. Grubsnoot is going to move this way and then cast Lightning Bolt on this guy right here, while the warworm attacks probably the guy who's already wounded and then tunnels and surfaces over here to try and escape, or at least split the barbarians and hopefully kill that one dude. So first things first. Grubsnoot moves his 9 inches. We'll actually move him pretty far angled, only because he can get 24 inches to that dude very easily. So that still gives him line of sight. Then he'll try and cast Lightning Bolt, needing a 5. Got those 2 dice. Come on. Oh, dang it. Nope. That would have been good. Okay. So he tries to cast a spell, but it's too much chaos and he can't risk it. Then the warworm will strike at the guy who's already wounded using 3 dice. We got a 4, a 6, and a 1. So we have a standard hit and a power hit. The barbarian blocks the standard hit, but not the power hit, taking 1 additional bloody token. So, let's put that right there. Then the warworm can move its 7, and it's going to move just on the other side of this statue, and because of its burrowing / flying ability, does not have to take a disengage test. Alright, back to barbarians. Maybe if I get them all here, then they're just kind of, they can go any which way. It doesn't really matter if they get flanked, because, I mean, they're never going to outmaneuver the worm. Alright, so they all move their 6 inches towards Grub Snoot. The wounded guy's right here. And they figure the Warworm has frickin' 7 bloody tokens and only 1 HP left. It might actually just die on its own. Kind of makes me wish Grub Snoot got the healing fire spell. Alright, that's their turn. Resolution phase for, why don't we do, I guess, the Warworm first. Get that over with. 7 dice. On any roll of a 1, this Warworm is dead. Oh, God. Yeah. The Warworm crawls off and dies. Probably under the earth. Somewhere. Well, so it goes for Goblin team. But this does not bode well for Grub Snoot. Unless he can evade and cast magic like a boss. However, the Barbarian Marauder, who has 3 bloody tokens, he takes 1 damage. So he's down to 1 HP. Now it is back to Grub Snoot. Alright, so Grub Snoot, what should he do? He should probably cast a spell and run. He's going to cast lightning, obviously, on that dude there. Having speed and lightning is actually great spells for him to fight on his own. To evade and cast, to evade and cast. So let's get the closest guy. He needs a 5 on one of these dice. Yes! Gets it. So, no. Alright. So it's just D6 bloody tokens to that guy. 4 bloody tokens. Four bloody tokens from his lightning spell. Then he'll just move his 9 over to here. He has a good chance of outrunning these guys for a while until they split up and try and catch him. So, the Barbarians, I think, we'll see what they do. So the Barbarians just kind of spread out, trying to cast that wide net and corner him in this corner. Now, of course, if he does get speedy on himself, that'll be, what, 13-inch movement, so he can just around. But we'll see. So that's the end of their turn. Both, the worm and the leader of the Barbarians are dead. Now it's just these guys. In the resolution phase, it's just the Barbarians who have to roll. This man over here, who's already at who's already at 1 health. So any other roll of a 1 and he dies. That is not. And then 4 bloody tokens on this man who is currently unhurt, or at least, but double 1s mean that guy is slain. So that lightning bolt, it kills him outright. Which gives Grub Snoot a bit of a hole to pursue. Alright, Grub Snoot's turn. I think, what do you think? Should I cast speed? Or should I... What do the rules say? If I pass within 2 inches... let me just check the... Begin a move within 2 inches of an enemy, must pass a disengage. Okay, so he can run through here if he wants, but that just gets him pretty close. What if he went around? Okay, I'm going to cast Lightning Bolt on this guy. I think. No, you know what? Should I cast Speed? No, I'm going to cast Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt on this guy. Here we go. Being bold. Needing a 5. Grub Snoot does not get it. Oh, then he's just going to move his 9 along that edge. Barbarians. They're going to move their 6 to try and intercept him. And this guy, maybe just to shore up this corner, is going to come around here. So that's that end. They do appear to be closing in on Grub Snoot. Resolve phase, the 1 HP Barbarian rolls another 1 on his bloody test, so he is slain. At the top of this next turn, we have 3 Barbarians left and Grub Snoot. Everyone full HP, and it's Grub Snoot's turn. Alright, he's going to go with that lightning bolt again. Unless, no, this time he should definitely go with Speedy, because otherwise they will definitely catch up with him, and he'll have to do a disengage test, which he could fail, and then get stuck in combat, and yada yada. That would be bad. They are obviously better than him in close combat, but only by a little. Alright, so he's caster level 2. Speedy needs a 4. Or speed, I forget what the spell's called. Oh, yeah, so it is cast. He gets to add 6 inches. It's 9 plus 6, which is 15. 15 inches, dang. So he just freaking... an absolute burst of magical energy. He jolts himself forward and is able to evade the approaching barbarians, one of which bleeds out on the battlefield and collapses. Alright. So that was a cast and a move, so it's Barbarian's turn now. Barbarian's going to head this way, and they're just going to try and corner him. That's about all they can do, though. Nothing to do in the resolution phase. Grub Snoot, top of the next turn, shoots lightning bolt at this guy. He needs a 5. Ooh, gets it with a 6. That's going to be D6, and ooh, he looks like definitely within 3 inches. Yep. He's within 3 inches of that terrain feature, meaning that is a D6 plus 2 bloody tokens. Okay, well, 3, not bad. Better than nothing. So lightning bolt arcs toward that guy. And then Grub Snoot will move his standard 9 inches, the sneaky and quick goblin that he is. Okay. The barbarians, this guy will go ahead and try to intercept him, as will this guy, and this guy will go here. This barbarian goes to intercept him, this one comes around, and this one goes this way, so as maybe to intercept him there. Resolution phase, the barbarians. This guy has 3 bloody on him because of the lightning bolt, and he's able to not lose any health this turn. That one was because I pushed it over. Alright. Back to Grub Snoot in this wild goose hunt of a match. Grub Snoot fires another lightning bolt at this guy, this time, needing a 5. Gets it. He's not within any 3, so he's going to get a D6 bloody on him. Ooh, 5 bloody. That is quite a powerful strike. Then he'll move his 9 inches. The barbarians respond by moving up their 6. I'm thinking now that Grub Snoot should probably focus on combat since most of them are wounded. Resolution phase. This guy has 5 bloody. He is previously unhurt, And he's still fine. Nice. This guy over here is also fine. They are determined to stick with it. But Grubsnoot is not perturbed by that fact. It's his turn again. This time casting Lightning Bolt on the one Barbarian who is not bloodied. And Grubsnoot needs that 5 or higher. Does not get it. That could be devastating by moving another 9. Getting closer and closer to cornering Grubsnoot. And we'll go to the resolution phase. The far corner Barbarian is fine. And the Barbarian closest to us is fine. These guys are stomaching these injuries like champs. Grubsnoot will not be able to escape getting into combat unless he gets that speedy spell off again, needing a 4. Oops. Needing a 4. Oh! Does not get it. Panicked by the encroaching barbarians, he is unable to cast speed. That takes up one of his actions. Then he's going to move 9, but I'm not sure it will help. This barbarian comes around. This barbarian comes around, gets into close combat with Grubsnoot. These two coming toward him, and of course he gets to attack Grubsnoot, getting 3 dice as he is furious. Oh my goodness, 2 power hits and 1 standard hit. Grubsnoot only has 2 dice to block this. He does get 1 power block and a regular block, so he just takes 1 power hit. Meaning that he is bloodied 1. Then the resolution phase, Grubsnoot. It's fine right now. The closest barbarian. Oh, double 1s. So that takes both of his health points. He is dead. That running did him in. Running around, bleeding all over the place. And this barbarian has 3 and is fighting on like a champ. Can Grubsnoot survive long enough to wait out these guys? We shall see. Top of the turn, Grubsnoot. Okay. Grubsnoot has a decision to make. He could try and cast speed on himself and then disengage, but that requires answering 2 questions. Can he successfully cast speed, and can he successfully disengage? This guy's an elite, so that's going to be a 4-up disengage test. That, or he could try and fight him. I think I'm going to go with trying to fight him. So, I think I'm going to cast Lightning Bolt, see if I can get it off, and then just do a standard attack. So, first Lightning Bolt, being a 5, doesn't get it. I guess if I tried to cast Speedy, I wouldn't have got it either. Then, with a standard attack, Grubsnoot gets 2 dice. It does get a power hit, but the Barbarian is able to block the strike of his staff quite easily. Oh, that is not good. Barbarian's turn. This Barbarian gets closer and closer. This one strikes, this unhurt one strikes at Grubsnoot. 3 dice because of Furious. Ooh, not particularly good. Only 1 standard hit. Grubsnoot, with 2 power blocks, dodges out of the way of the mad Barbarian's axes. And, that is their turn. Resolution phase. This Barbarian, still bleeding, and still not taking any damage. Just a true savage fighter. And Grubsnoot himself. Oh, Grubsnoot takes, with 1 bloody, takes 1 damage, down to 1. He is on the verge. This match is getting very close. Okay. Top of the next turn, Grubsnoot. Decisions. He's going to try and cast Speedy. I think that's his only safe route, because I'm not sure if he can stay in combat with this guy. So, unless he does cast Lightning, but then this guy will get right in with him. But he could die too. Shoot. Alright, I'm going for the glory. Grubsnoot's going to try and cast a lightning bolt on the barbarian up close to him. Needs that 5 or 6. Oh, gets it on a 6. Not within any terrain, so it's just D6 bloody. Come on. Oh, 6 bloody tokens. There we go. That's what I like to see. Calls down in his hour of need a devastating lightning bolt to strike at the barbarian. Then gets to attack on top of it and gets 2 power hits. The barbarian gets only 2 things to block, is only able to do 1 power block, thus taking an additional bloody token. Wow. Alright, this could be good. Let's see. Grubsnoot's hanging in there. Whacks him in the balls with the staff just after striking him with a lightning bolt. It is the barbarian's turn. This barbarian will move up his 6. Not within combat distance, but distance enough to challenge any disengage tests. Then we go to the all-important resolution phase. Alright, who should we start with? Grubsnoot? Now, if Grubsnoot were to die, we would still resolve each of these guys, because if they were both to die as well, this game would end in a draw. So let's do Grubsnoot first. He's only got 1 HP. Alright, he's fine. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This dude's got 7 bloody tokens on him. He's at full health, but maybe not for long. And I see 1 single roll of a 1, meaning that he's down to half health, so 1 HP. And the guy who's been previously unhurt has 3 and is still fine. How about that? Alright. 1 health, 1 health, 2 health. Top of the turn, Grubsnoot's turn. I'm just foregoing disengaging. Grubsnoot's just in it to win it now. So he, sorry my phone keeps going off. So, Grubsnoot, at the top of the turn, the Goblin Shaman, he's going to call down a spell of lightning on the newcomer to the fight. Well, to this little skirmish happening here. Needs a 5 or 6. Does not get it. Then he's going to strike with his staff against the closer of the 2. Getting 1 standard hit. Or, sorry, 2 standard hits, but he gets 2 power blocks and is able to thwart that oncoming attack. The barbarians, he runs in. They both attack. So this guy attacks Grubsnoot, getting 2 standard hits, 1 power hit. Grubsnoot has 2 dice to defend, gets 2 standard blocks, so he takes 1 bloody damage from that attack. Then the next barbarian attacks, getting 2 power hits and 1 standard hit. Grubsnoot, 2 standard blocks, meaning that he can only block 1 of these, takes 2 power hits, and takes 2 additional bloody damage. Alright. Resolution phase, Grubsnoot. Grubsnoot is at 4 bloody. He only has 1 HP left. Oh, that one. It would have been so cool. No, Grubsnoot perishes. Oh, he lasted as long as he could. The barbarians just caught up with him. Let's see if it's a tie or if the barbarians win flat out. This guy has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 bloody on him. And 1 HP left, and that's a 1. He's dead. And the last guy is at full health, surprisingly. Alright, he has 3 bloody on him, so he has 2 HP, 3 bloody, meaning that as long as I don't roll 2 1s on these dice, the barbarians from the north will win this battle. And still does not take a single damage. This guy is going to be promoted to the new barbarian chieftain. I'll give him a name. Probably something the Unkillable. And that was the quick battle report for 7th spell, down to the wire. Grubsnoot and his Warworm versus the northern barbarian invaders who squeaked out a victory. Thanks for watching. Download the free rule set at my website. Well, on Dropbox, but the link to that is on my website, g3xe.blogspot.com. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.